Little bit of a bonus round this time. Unfortunately, our first show chatting to Jaycee Nienaber got cut short for technical difficulties, problems with the internet. It's as if everyone's online with nothing else to do. So this is part number 2 of the Jaycee Nienaber interview. Jaycee, welcome. Thanks for joining us once again. Amazingly enough, you're still wearing the same shirt.
Yeah, saving some clothes, yeah.
No, don't say that. Say you actually have 15 Fearless t-shirts. That's how you say it.
Pretty much.
So getting straight into it, the first half of the show that went out, we were talking about the history and your little journey, an amazing journey that it is as well, which took you to around about the 2014 season. I think it was around about there, where you were moving from the Manhand Yamaha squad onto what became quite a powerhouse squad, which was the D&H Engineering Yamaha squad. And you and a couple of tasty riders came out of that gate, hey? And you seem to work very well together.
Yeah, no, Hans Glockler, he actually is the first team I rode for. He picked me up when I was still doing junior regionals, actually. So I was a long road with him and his team, moving from the companies, basically a Manhand and going over to D&H Engineering only. Moved up into OR2 and did pretty well in that class. Just coming short every year on that two-stroke, getting second place in the national off-road seasons and so on. But it was a good experience. Two-stroke taught me well. Gave me a lot of, rather training, because a two-stroke is sometimes a handful.
It was that strange time of not just your career, but also the industry, where I would say some of the old school riders were still on two-stroke, and everyone else was starting to move up to the 4-strokes, not just because of a choice between a smoker or a thumper, but mainly because, especially in your category, the OR2s, you could buy that 350 KTM. And I think that was a bit of a game changer for your category.
Yeah, look at the photos that we're looking at currently. That was actually a 4-stroke 270 big bore, made out of a 250. Was it 250 4-stroke? So we've tried everything on the Yamahas. Look, that bike was flipping power. It was power. It was a really fun bike to ride, but I blew it up twice with my heavy hand. So that's why we made the decision to move up to the 350 KTM.
That was a nice setup as well. I was so chuffed to see you make that move. I know you probably wished, probably in your heart of hearts, that Yamaha had a 350 for you to move up to, but I think when the move was made, it was the right choice, and it did you well. You started to pull some really tasty results, not only regionally, but nationally, once you stepped up to that bike as well.
Yeah, I was very loyal to the brand Yamaha and so on, but you always have to make some changes in your life. And I've never doubted myself. I climbed on that 350 and I pushed hard every event, taking overall wins at the GXC season. And I was happy.
Was there a big change? Because I remember the Super Moose squad that you were on there, and the KTM, I think it came from the backing from Big Ron at the Roost. With the Yamaha D&H, you had a lot of riders around you, and it was kind of like a cool atmosphere, and then you were a one-man band all of a sudden. That had to feel a bit strange.
Yeah, we had almost 2 riders in every category when we rode for D&H Engineering. We were a big family. It was quite fun. When I moved over to Super Moose racing, it was me, myself, and I under my little gazebo at every event. That was fun. It's a bit different. You don't have a teammate to chat to, but with the racing, you have so many friends to chat to after a race and compare your riding and your racing for the day. So I was never alone, if I can put it like that.
No, for sure. You always got the guys that pit close to you and everything like that. But it's just, wearing a different shirt always feels slightly different. But jumping out of that, you went 2 full seasons on that bike before, and it seemed like forever. And then you eventually jumped up onto the big bike. I think you needed those 2 seasons on that 350 to kind of get your head around jumping up to the big 450, didn't you?
Yeah. 2 years on a 350, 2 years on a 252 stroke and OR2. 4 years of riding in that class, I think it was time to go into another class, and obviously won't go moving down again. So only class was OR1, and then I actually bought a 450 KTM. I raced the last national in 2017.
I
Got a
remember that.
fourth in
That's
OR1 there.
it was
Then.
that Atlas Copco race. Hey, yeah.
Yeah, I did. The bike I think had 0.4 hours on, and I climbed on it and I raced it. So it was quite fun, quite a handful. But I think that's when that bug bites, and yeah, been loving the bigger bikes.
Yeah, that was out at Glen Harvey. I remember that. It was so cool as well. And I do like that trend of the guys. I don't know if you were in or maybe you either wrapped up a championship or you were out of that championship and you decided to just swing a leg for that last race. And well, it set you up for that next season because that next season was where you really arrived, eh?
Yeah, I don't really recall why I didn't race in the R3 class. I think I was just a bit behind on the points, and it just started to take that step further and go to R1 and test the field. And yeah, in December, Hallshot asked me to ride for them in OR1, and that Husqvarna was a brilliant bike. I climbed that thing, and it just got me on that top step every single race, getting the a podium or getting the win, and all the people backing me in 2018 was also phenomenal. Margie Smith getting me so fit. I've never been so fit in my life. And I was also a bit skinnier than when I rode the smaller bikes. So yeah.
Yeah, man, that 2018 season is something that most people will never dream about. It's did it surprise you that you came like so good so quickly on that bike?
Yeah, because everybody always says when you move up to the 450 class OR1, you're gonna always struggle that first year, and then you're gonna only start doing well. And I basically just climbed on that bike, and I was from the first race, I was getting a podium step. And also, it surprised me that year that I also took the championship and I was doing so well. But I think also with all the motivation behind me, with my teams and sponsors and trainers and all of that, it was just a great year for me. I think my head was also in the right space, and yeah, came back with the championship.
What did it mean to you as well? Because, you know, I suppose even at some point, you know, you're going to have a little bit of hero worship happening. So that first race or that first season lining up on the Big Banger, you know, you look around and you've got, like you say, Dart, Sharon, sometimes even Kenny, who you did beat at GXCCs. I mean, big gates, dude. I mean, it must have felt amazing.
Yeah, running with these oaks was great. I think it's also a learning curve with the bigger bikes. The oaks are riding very aggressively, and you know everybody is there to win. Nobody is holding back at the end of the day, and I think that made us faster on the race day. All of us just pushing each other to get that top step. And I was yeah, passing Kenny on I think it was Cartonville, the one race. I was leading every single lap until the last lap. I think he beat me by 18 seconds.
Yeah,
But you
I remember
know,
that one.
it was a learning curve. Learning curve. The King Kenny, with all the experience, just could push a bit harder than me at the
Yeah,
end.
man. Yeah, man. And then out of 2018, which, like you say, was just an amazing rookie season. It's crazy to talk about you as a rookie, but rookie on the big bikes. Then, I mean, 2019 just didn't happen for you. Simple as. I mean, you were injured from day one.
Yeah, that's pretty disappointing. I think about it still to this day, how disappointing it was to me. I mean, in January, I was in hospital with well, got hit, hit over the head and ended up in ICU for a few days and so on. And that took me out for the racing a bit. And then also to come back now, couldn't train and stuff like that. So I was getting podiums at least, but I wasn't performing as I was in 2018. And then also in end of the July in Lesotho, basically shattered my elbow and broke my wrist and so on. So definitely not a good year in 2019, and I was looking forward for this year, but to make a comeback again. But yeah, Corona. What can I say?
I Corona, they say. I Corona. But but even this year at the GXCCs, it's, I mean, no disrespect, you just haven't been firing like you were. Is it just a case of being out of racing for a year and needing to get your head into that place again?
Yeah, I've been out for quite a while with this arm. It's quite a major break, if I can say. I pretty shattered the elbow and so on, and had a few other injuries with that. So it took me a while to recover, and I was struggling with pain with my arm. So also I couldn't push till the end. Even if I do one lap, sometimes when I push too hard, it's just so painful. So I think that was also holding me back, and also my head wasn't in the right frame of mind. Scared I'll fall again and I hurt that same arm or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I was getting better, but in practicing, getting faster, feeling better, more comfortable, more focused on the bike, and unfortunately, I only did one national and one GXCC, or two GXCC, but the first one I didn't finish. So the second GXCC I pushed hard that day, but the Oaks are so fast now. Can't believe if you're out for a while, the Oaks are just jumping ahead of you.
Yeah.
So I think it was a 7th place, if I can recall correctly. So 7th place in 001. The Oaks are extremely quick now, so I've got a lot of work to do to actually get back to their pace or to battle with them.
Those shots we just saw was you obviously on the gate for round number 1, and a couple of different names and different faces. And we see that every year, I suppose, or maybe every 2 years. Yeah, I think it was a mechanical, so I can't say that it was any fault of yours at round number 1. So give you that. Round number 2, just busy gates. I mean, if I look at the OR1 Big Banger lineup now, there are easily 10 dudes that can take a win now. And that never used to be that way.
Yeah, that's. I would agree with you. It's 10 guys that are just there to get the number 1 spot. Everybody is fast. Everybody's pushing right to the end. Everybody is fit, and it's hard. You can't make a mistake. That's it. You have to have a good start. You can't make mistakes. You must make sure that you are pushing your utmost best to get the win, or even just a podium step.
If I can, as we're seeing him come over the pipe here, what's your thoughts on Pentecost coming back into the game? Because obviously he was out for a couple of seasons, always a factory pro on the Yamahas until he lost his ride. And then this year, geez, man, I can't believe our Penn Diaz.
He's always been fast since junior nationals. He's been a fast rider. I think he's got that natural talent. You know what people speaks about. I think he put in the effort in the off seasons, or if I can put, when he wasn't racing and he got back into it, he did the training. He knew what need to done, and he came back and he's showing that he's got the pace to run with the big boys again. I mean, look at the last GXCC. He won it overall, and he's a fast rider. I wouldn't take it away from him.
It's nice to see a couple of dudes from back in the day as well. We've got these great shots of you here where you actually did do the full race distance. And like you say, you ran a 7th place. And I think maybe by your high standards, you might not have felt so cool about 7th place. But when you agree that there's 10 dudes that can win, a top 10 at a GXCC now is a big brag. But you talk about some old school riders like Ruan Smith, who also has not been out of racing for that long, but out of the results that he is also capable of. And it's been nice to see him come back. You know, you talk about him, Dart, Vaynard Delport. A lot of guys came out really strong this year.
Yeah, I think everybody was doing the off-season training during December and they are pushing hard. I think they're very eager to get the top step. And it is showing. It definitely is. And they can't back down. There's all the other oaks coming from the back. One mistake, and they'll lose a position.
I think it's nice that we get to chat to you and a lot of the other riders as well and understand your racing journey. And like you say, you kind of came through all the ranks, which is fantastic. But I think the scary part about that for you and most of the guys on your gate is next season, all the kids from 250s and 350s are going to maybe try and squeak up there as well. So, a few years ago, maybe we were nervous that racing wasn't in good shape. But even though we've had this speed bump this year, I still think next year you're going to see a lot of development coming through.
Yeah, the young guys are quite fast in the 125s and OR3. I think, especially like Davin Cocker, if he had to move up to OR2 class, he's going to be very quick, and he's going to run, I think, definitely a top 10 or even a top 5 overall in that 350. Very good rider, up-and-coming rider. Maddie Smith, busy winning the 125 class, also doing very well. And then also Kyle, that came from the 85cc class, winning that championship last year, going on to the 125s, also a very fast rider. They're still young, got a lot of experience to gain, if I can put it like that. But yeah, they are definitely going to be fast. Hopefully, by the time I hit seniors, then they only move up.
Or maybe by the time you hit Dakar, then they can move up.
Yeah. Just give me a chance.
Yeah. I see that's kind of like the next step. I know Dart's got some big Dakar aspirations. Obviously, we've seen Kenny and Ross jump across there. And it seems, I don't know if I want to say easier, but more available or the ability and maybe the situation is better for us nowadays to jump from cross country and GXCC up to the Dakar. I think the results have shown that.
I think we're sort of used to the speeds. GXCC are usually fast, off-roads are faster, and also from coming through the ranks, we are used to the speed of the end of the day. And I think that will assist you when you're doing Dakar on the big bikes and you have to hit those long straights and just trying to keep it open. I think the distance is just your biggest struggle to get used to it. I can't really, I think it's like 5,000 kilometers or something like that.
Big numbers.
Over a few days. And I think that's what makes it or breaks it. And also, like if you just watch her races with Tay Perry and the bad luck she had, doing well, and then just the last day, the bike gives in. There's so many contributions to your race going well or not going well. Even Ross, he won the one race and then he had a crash. So you can never go there thinking, okay, I'm going to win it. You just need to go there and just ride it the best of your ability and hope you finish.
Exactly right. It'll be exciting one day to see you do that. And I see you've got that glint in your eye that tells me that you really want to do that. But, we'll have to wait and see and try and save those pennies in the back pocket, hey?
Yeah, that's also a big issue is the amount of money you have to spend just to buy the bike. I think it's like 700,000 Rand. But I'm motivated. If I can get the opportunity to do it, I will do it. My computer's back screen is the Husqvarna Dakar bike, and anyway, so motivates me every day.
Yeah, got to have a dream, brother. Got to have a dream. Listen, Jaycee, it's been great to catch up with you. Thank you for your time. We much appreciate it. As we do with all these lockdown shows, I'll hand the mic to you now, and you can say a big high five and thank you to all the peeps out there that have helped you with their journey so far.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you very much, Matt, for having me on the show. Obviously, I want to start off saying thanks to my current sponsors, Spherical Logistics and Holshot, Henderson Racing. That includes most of your X brand and your Uzwe and EVS, and also Dunlop tires. Fearless, and there's so many. My dad, my mom, Gareth McKenzie from MC Timbers, And if I'm missing you, I'm sorry. Just putting me on the spot there.
Oh, sorry, brother. Yeah, but yeah, it's a big team effort, and it's been nice to see your development. And thanks for your time again. We can't wait to see you banging on the podiums and taking wins like we know you should be. So hopefully, as soon as we can go racing, we'll see you out on the line, brother. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so from Jaycee Nienaber, we get ourselves ready for next week live on Lockdown, where it's going to be fun as we go in and chat to a good pal of ours. Pretty much rock and rolls all the time up at the farm jams. We know him as DJ Mackie. You guys might know him as Dean Gillow. He started to pull in some really good rides and really good results. It's going to be an exciting show, so please tune in next week, Monday. It's going to be 2 p.m. live on Lockdown with DJ Mackie, telling us about turning the turntables and the throttle. Tune in then.